Alright, in this video I'll show you how to make the items like rigid body drops and not have it like animate and float about. So first thing is I'm just using the demo scene, so the XEntity game kit here. Your item prefabs, like for example here, the example prefabs, they need to have rigid bodies obviously, if you want to have them act as rigid bodies. Okay, and the next one is we're gonna go to XEntity, scripts, structs, and then utils. This is the script where we drop the items or instantiate the items. I'm gonna go down until I find item collector on line 111. Instantiate item collector. Currently it does all this, but we don't really want to do all of this, so we're gonna just drop it as like the regular item and drop it as a rigid body. So I just wanna comment this out on that. And up here, let's just put instantiate the item first. So instance is equal to GameObject dot instantiate item dot prefab and position and quaternion dot identity for the rotation. Well, the thing is the position needs to be modified because currently it's being spawned right on the plane. It really depends on your game where you're gonna drop the item. So I'm just gonna do position dot y is equal to 1. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna put like elevation on the item when it's dropped, so it doesn't phase through the plane. The position you're gonna drop the item at really depends on your game, right? If your game has uneven terrain, you'll probably need to drop it in other places, right? Like depending on the height of the terrain. For my game or for the demo scene, it doesn't really matter, so I'm just gonna put it at 1. Let's see. When the position is passed in as in front of the player, the viewer, the player. So yeah, it would be in front of the player, but a little bit above the ground height. Okay, and we'll just through code we'll just make sure the collider's on and the gravity's on, right? So instance dot get component collider dot is trigger is equal to false. So it's not a trigger game object. It has to be a collider, otherwise it's just gonna phase through the colliders. And then we have to say instance dot get component rigid body dot use gravity is true. It does spawn multiple items, like when you cut a tree, it spawns like apples and logs, so they're gonna bounce off of each other. So really, if you want to modify anything about the item being dropped, you want to modify it here, like in this function. It really depends on your game. But I'm just showing you how to basically make like a very basic version of dropping the rigid body objects. Let's just go to the game. Oh, also, if I go to prefabs, items again, we can see all of these items. They have a rigid body, and I think they do have colliders as well, but they're, for example, the mushroom is set as trigger. I'm just gonna uncheck that because otherwise it's just gonna phase through whenever I start the game, right? I wanna just uncheck anything that's trigger. So all of these have actual colliders. Okay. Now if I start the game, maximize it. 1, 2, 3, cut down the tree, you can see they're just dropped, and they're like basically any other rigid body objects, and I can click on them to pick them up. Click I, drop them again, and they're dropped like that. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's about it. Well, you can also do like other things like disable the rigid body, or even not have a rigid body by default but add it in the game, like, or add it in the code like dynamically here when you spawn that. But yeah, you can do all sorts of things. You'll just have to do it here, and this item.prefab is what is being instantiated. Uh, Also, the reason you can click them again to grab them is because these already have the instant harvest script on them, right? So when you click them, they're being collected. Well, yeah, that's it for this feature, I guess. I'll probably, if I do add like the official version, or add this feature to the official version, I'll probably make it like switchable between different types of like dropping and different types of animations. But yeah, that's not on the agenda now, but thank you for trying out this asset.